Drake, Certified Lover Boy, an album that made my worst albums of 2021 list, and I think my opinion has slightly changed on this album. It's still not a good album, and I'd still put it on the list, but maybe not as low as I feel like I would have done. I think the first half of the record is not good, but it's not terrible. There's cringe. Say You're a Lesbian, Girl Me Too, of course, is the obvious one to go to, but Girls Want Girls isn't a terrible track for me. It's just fine, and Lil Baby's verse is decent. Way Too Sexy is still cringe. That's still not good. Effing Fans is not good. What else? Oh yeah, TSU, where he samples R. Kelly. That probably wasn't a good idea, Drake. And that song in general is just weird. Like, the mum's not at home, dad's not at home line is just... It's a little bit sus. Well, one of the things I don't like about this record is sort of Drake's kind of weird nature towards women. Like, obviously on Girls Want Girls, he's like staring at your dress because it's see-through. Like, that's pervert behaviour. And just Drake just comes across at other times as a bit petty because women have moved on from him. I feel like I'm focusing a bit too much on Drake here. We'll move back onto the music itself, and I just think, and he's also quite melodramatic as well, which, you know, it's a Drake album. But for the most part, it feels like Drake isn't really trying here, and that really comes across on the second half. Like, a lot of people talk about Knife Talk being a good track, and I don't understand why. I don't think the performance by 21 Savage is that great, and I don't think Drake's great here. Effing Fans I've already talked about. The album closer, The Remorse, is just... it just floats by. And I think the main problem with this album is it's an hour and 26 minutes long, and it feels that long. It really does, especially on the back half, which is just very dull and very predictable. His guests can be good on here. The track with Kid Cudi I like. Rick Ross's verse is pretty good. Lil Baby was decent. But then other times, like I said, 21 Savage isn't great here. He barely uses Ty Dolla $ign on that track they did, and Thames, who is a fantastic singer, is really underutilised on the track they have together. Future's not great here. The Jay-Z one it's an okay Jay-Z verse. I don't know. I don't think I hate this album as much as I did when it first came out, but it's still a slog. It's still Drake being melodramatic and kind of creepy. It's not a good record, and I'd still probably put it on my worst albums of the year list. Way Too Sexy is still terrible, and that definitely deserves to be on my worst tracks of the year list. Is it the worst Drake album? We'll get to that in the future.